Good morning, everyone. For today's most essential learning competency, I want you to enumerate and describe the types of solution according to the proportion of the solute and solvent, diluted and concentrated. Now, who among you know the game Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? We will be playing that, and I will be choosing from you grade 7 students. If you want to be chosen as the player, kindly type your full name, school and section. After 1 minute, we will start choosing the player for our game. Now, we have a student from Dalandanan National High School. Let me call her now. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello po, ma'am.
So, Jennifer, how do you feel that you are the chosen one?
Kinakabahan po.
Don't be nervous and just enjoy the game. You have all the grade 7 students here in Valenzuela cheering you on. Jennifer, choose your 3 lifelines.
50-50,
Okay.
ask the audience, and phone a friend.
Okay. For the game, you need to answer 10 multiple choice questions in a row correctly to win. Use up to 3 lifelines to help you select an answer. And your chosen lifelines are 50-50, ask the audience, and phone a friend. For $2,000 question. What do you call the substance that is made up of a single type of atom? A. Element. B. Molecule. C. Mixture. Or D. Compound.
A?
A. Element. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Correct! So, you already have $2,000. For the next question, worth $4,000. Which of the following is an example of a pure substance? A. Starch with a molecular formula of C6H10O5. B. Sucrose with a molecular formula of C12H22O11. C. Table salt, NaCl. Or D. Milk, C12H22O11 plus H2O.
B or
B or
C?
C. What do you think is the correct answer, Jennifer? What is your final answer?
I think it's C.
C. Table salt. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay. Correct! For $8,000 question. It is a homogeneous mixture of 2 or more substances. A. Compound. B. Solute, C. Solution, or D. Solvent?
Call a friend.
Call a friend. I will give you 30 seconds to talk to someone that you're going to call. Who are you going to call?
My sister.
Your sister. So what is the name of your sister?
Kim.
Kim. So let's call Kim.
Hello?
Hello, Kim. This is Ma'am Irish. Your sister Jennifer needs your help. Here she is now.
What is the answer? It is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. A. Compound, B. Solute, C. Solution, or D. Solvent. I think sure ka na? Yes.
Okay. So Jennifer, what is your final answer?
C.
C. Solution. So let's see if that is correct. Correct! So let's have for $16,000 question. Coffee drink is made up of powdered juice, sugar, creamer, and water. Which of the following ingredients is considered a solvent? A. Powdered coffee, B. Creamer, C. Sugar, or D. Water?
C.
C. Sugar. Is that your final answer?
No.
No.
D.
D. Water. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see if that is correct. Correct! So, the solvent here is the water. For $25,000 question, the substance that is being dissolved in a solution is A. Solvent, B. Concentration, C. Solute, or D. Saturation?
I think it's C.
C. Solute. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Correct! So, you already have $25,000! Now, let's proceed to $50,000 question. Sinigang dish is a mixture of pork, kangkong, onion, tamarind powder, and water. Which of the ingredients is soluble in water? A. Pork, B. Kangkong, C. Tamarind powder, or D. Onion?
A or C?
A or C? Which among the two would be your final answer?
C.
C. Tamarind powder. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Correct. That is the tamarind powder. So for $100,000 question, sugar dissolved in water is an example of which solute-solvent combination? A. Solid-liquid combination, B. Liquid-liquid combination, C. Liquid-solid combination, or D. Gas-liquid combination? A. Solid-liquid combination. Is that your final answer?
No.
No. C. Liquid-solid combination. Is that your final answer?
No.
No.
A.
A. Again. Solid-liquid combination. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yes. Let's check. Correct. So, sugar dissolved in water is an example of solid-liquid combination. For $250,000 question, which of the examples is a solution? A. Milk. B. Milk tea. C. Salty water. Or D. Oily water.
I think it's C.
C. Salty water. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Correct. So, the solution here is the salty water. For $500,000 question. Which of the following is an example of a solute-solvent solution? A. Gravel and sand. B. Salt and pepper. C. Wood and paper. Or D. Sugar and water.
B or D?
B or D? Which among the two would be your final answer?
D.
D. Sugar and water. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yes. Correct! So, you already have $500,000 for 1 million question. How are you going to dissolve the sugar from a supersaturated solution? A. Shaking the mixture. B. Stirring the mixture. C. Increasing the temperature. Or D. Covering the mixture. This is worth $1 million question, Jennifer. What is your answer?
A.
A. Shaking the mixture. Is that your final answer?
No.
No.
C.
C. Increasing the temperature. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Are you sure about this, Jennifer?
Yes po, ma'am.
Super sure.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see if this is correct. Okay, that is correct, Jennifer. So you already have $1 million. Congratulations. Jennifer may not have or may not get the real money, but the fact that she answered all the questions correctly is more than enough. Now, based on our game a while ago, what do you mean by solution? It is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. It is consist of solute and solvent. What is the difference between solute and solvent? What do you mean by solute? Correct. Solute is a substance that is being dissolved. How about solvent? What do you mean by that? It is the medium in which the solute is being dissolved. Now, does solute refer to a solid substance only? Or it can be in liquid and gas forms also? How about solvent? Does it refer to liquid form only? Or it can be in solid and gas forms? Solute and solvent can be in solid, liquid, and gas forms. Meaning, there are different possible combinations for solute and solvent. Those are gas in liquid, gas in solid, liquid in liquid, liquid in solid, solid in liquid, and solid in solid. And here are some common examples. Let's identify the combination of the states of matter in each solution. Number 1, carbon dioxide in water. Carbon dioxide is an example of gas, and water is in the form of liquid. So, carbon dioxide in water is a combination of gas and liquid. Second, we have oxygen and other gases. Oxygen is an example of a gas, and other gases, of course, like nitrogen, is an example of gas. So this is gas in gas combination. 3. Hydrogen in palladium. Hydrogen is a gas, and palladium is solid. So this is a combination of gas in solid. 4. Zinc in copper. Zinc is solid and copper is solid. This is a combination of solid in solid. Salt in water. Salt is an example of solid and water is an example of liquid. So this is a combination of solid in liquid. Alcohol in water. Alcohol is liquid and water is also liquid. So this is a combination of liquid in liquid. Water in air. Water is liquid, air is gas. So this is a combination of liquid in gas. Lastly, we have mercury in silver. Mercury is liquid and silver is solid. This is a combination of liquid in solid. Since we already know what a solution is, now, what do you think is this concentration of solution? Concentration, it describes the relative amount of solute and solvent in a given volume of solution. And the concentration of solutions can be expressed into two. Those are diluted and concentrated. Now, what do you think is the difference between the two? But wait! Before you answer that, let's have a virtual experiment. Solute and solvent. Let's identify what will happen to the concentration of this solution. We are going to use a drink mix as the solute and water as the solvent. But, what do you think will happen to the concentration if we only have solute? So let's see. Let's put solute in the cylinder. Let's use this device to identify the concentration. Now, we're gonna put it here. As you can see, there is no concentration. Why? We will answer that later. Now, let's remove the solute and let's put the solvent in the cylinder. Let's put 250 ml or 1/4 liter of water. Going back to the device, the concentration is 0. Why? Because to be able to find the concentration of the solution, you must have a solution. And solution is consist of solute and solvent. Let's try this drink mix and water solution. Let's add drink mix in the water solution, and I want you to check the concentration of this solution. So let's shake the drink mix once. So as you can see, the concentration increases. Now, let's do it 5 times. Shake, 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 shake. Based on what we have done, we can conclude that the more solute the higher the concentration is. But, what do you think will happen if we add more solvent? Will the concentration increase or decrease? Now, let's try it. Let's add water little by little and focus on the concentration. Okay, so as we add more solvent, the concentration decreases. Now, we can conclude that the more solvent, the lower the concentration is. So let's try to add more solute again in this solution. As you can see, the concentration is increasing as you add the drink mix. Therefore, the concentration depends on the amount of solute and solvent in a given solution. Now, let's use another example. Let's have a salt solution. We have sodium chloride as the solute and water for the solvent. Let's fill this cylinder with sodium chloride. And again, look at the concentration device as I add the water. So, as you can see, it is the same with our previous example. So, our conclusion would be, the more solute, the higher the concentration is, and the more solvent, the lower the concentration is. Again, the concentration of solution is expressed into two. Those are diluted and concentrated. Now, what do you mean by diluted? It is a solution that contains a small amount of solute relative to solvent, or simply, less solute than solvent. How about concentrated? Based on the experiment, when a solution contains a large portion of solute relative to solvent, or simply, more solute than solvent. Before we end, I will leave you these words to remember. As the amount of solute increases, the concentration also increases. As the amount of solvent increases, the concentration decreases. So, for follow-up, please answer your module on pages 22 to 23. For the question and answer part, let's have student from Genti de Leon National High School. The question is, ma'am, clarification, are concentrated and diluted examples of solution? Yes, concentrated and diluted are examples of solutions. Next, we have from Linguna National High School. What is the difference between concentrated and diluted? When we say diluted solution, that means it contains less solute than solvent. While when we say concentrated solution, that means less solvent and more solute. And lastly, from Dalandana National High School, how are we going to apply this topic in our daily lives? Well, good question, huh? Well, of course, you can use this in your everyday lives. For example, you have a visitor and they requested coffee. Because of this topic, you'll be able to estimate the amount of sugar, coffee, creamer, and water that you're going to put inside the cup. When they say they want it sweeter, then you'll add more sugar, since you know how to estimate you can make a saturated coffee solution. And you can give them the satisfaction with the coffee that you have made. So, I guess that's all for today. I hope you have learned a lot from this discussion. So goodbye and have a nice day.